welcome to Nirmal's Code Tech. And today we are going to see the problem in Geek for Geek is remove all occurrence of duplicates in your linked list. So in this problem, they have given a sorted linked list and delete all nodes that have duplicate numbers. So, and then they said that leaving only numbers that appear once in the original list and return the head of the modified linked list. So, in this problem, they have said that they have given a sorted linked list and we need to return only the number which have occurred only once. Okay, in this problem, first example 23 and 35 are the only numbers which have occurred once. So, for this case, I'm going to use hash map. So, you can see here. First of all, I'm going to keep the value as my key. So in this linked list, 23 have occurred only once. So their value will be 1. Then the next number is 28. So 28 have occurred 2 times and their count will be 2. The next 35. The 35, their count is going to be 1. They have occurred only one time. So now 49 have occurred 2 times. So their count is 2 and 53 is 2. So our focus is only on finding out the number which have occurred once. So here 23 and then 35 have occurred only once. So we need to return it as our class data type, that is node. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is that I actually said that I'm going to use map. So this of key value pairs. So now let me use map. So I try to remove this. I think you guys can able to understand this. So this is the key and this is the value. So okay, no problem. Let it be like this. So let me write here. Let me keep like map of integer, comma integer. So it is going to be of key value so that I'm going to use integer comma integer. So this is for my key and this is for my value. Okay. Of HMP is equal to new. So you should not use hash map. Reason for this is so when you use hash map, the values will be arranged in different order. So for that case, we need to use linked hash map. So it will be ordered in the same order how we are going to iterate towards the linked list. Okay. So now I'm going to iterate my node. Okay. So first, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to check whether my head is null or not. So initially, head pointer will be at here 23. So 23 is not equal to null. Am I right or wrong? Right. So in that case, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add in my map. If not, my map contains the key 23, then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add in my map. So initially in my map, it does not contain any values, key value pairs, but I'm going to check initially whether my map contains the key 23 or not. So initially the map doesn't contains the key 23. So I'm going to add it as hmp.put head.data and initially the count will be 1. So I am going to add 1. So after this, if I get the same number next time, in that case, I need to increase my count. So for that case, I'm going to use hmp.put head.data, comma, hmp.get. I'm going to get the previous value which have been stored dot data, and from that I'm going to increment by value with +1. So that's it. So for this is the process how it's going to happen here. If you have only it have occurred for only one time, in that case your count will be 1. If I occurred for 2 times, like 28, in that case I need to increment my count from 1 to 2. For that case, I'm going to put the data for 28. I'm going to get the previous value of 28. I will be have 1. So from that 1, I'm going to add the next data for 28. I have occurred for 2 times. For the times, I'm going to add 1 plus 1. So in that case, I will get it as 2. And that will be stored in my key values pair. Okay. After this, what I'm going to do is that I need to iterate it for the next time. So I'm going to do head dot next. Now head dot next will point out to the next address. So if you guys don't know how this head dot next, head dot data are working on, so you need to open this one. You can see here class node, inter data, node next, and these things you can see here. So here node is a constructor, and in this part you will have data and then next. So next is nothing but something it is going to point out to the next address. So in each and every address we'll have one data. So that's what we call it as data here. Okay. So I try to minimize this. So after this, in my map, the values of key and value will be like this. Okay. So after this, what I'm going to do is that my focus is only on finding out the key which have been occurred once. So for that case, I need to iterate the key values pair. Integer, comma integer, sorry, integer of emp. I'm going to use smp dot entry set. Okay. Now what I can able to do is that I'm going to check the value. So initially I'm going to check the value. The first my value is what? 1. So if my mp.getValue is equal to 1, in that case I will move on here. So now I need to add in my node. For that case, I'm going to declare a node here. Node. So I'll use some space here. Okay, let me keep like this. Node h, comma t. So h is nothing but pointing to the head pointer, and t is nothing but tail. So whenever you add more than one data, in that case you need to add everything in your t, which is going to act as a tail. So initially you need to declare the head as null and tail as null. So this is the initialization part. If you didn't declare head as null and tail as null, in the case you will receive an error. So we don't need to get that error. So for the case, now I'm going to check what I'm going to check. Initially, I'm going to check whether my value is 1. Yes, my value is 1. Now what I'm going to do? I'm going to check whether my head is null. Yes, my head is null. So now I'm going to add a data in my head. New node of head dot data. So now initially what I'm going to do, I have added new node of head dot data. So after this, I'm going to point my head to the tail. So I'm going to store my head to the tail. So then only I can able to iterate for the next term, next upcoming elements. Okay. Next, what I'm going to do? Suppose if my head is not null, in that case, what I'll do? I'm going to store the values in my upcoming tail part. So for that case, in my next tail, t dot next. So t dot next is nothing but so next address. So in my, I'll tell you how these will be allocated in our data. So initially we have 23, and then next what we'll have? We have 35. Okay. Now we'll have 35. Initially head and tail will be point to the 23. Okay. Now when I get another data, when I get 35, which is the value is 1, whether count is 1, in that case I need to point my tail to the next address. So for that case I'm going to use t dot next. So t dot next after 23, I need to add in my next address. I'm going to add head dot data. Okay. After this, I need to point my address to the next. So next address. So for that case, I'm going to use t is equal to t dot next. You go and point to the next address. So that's what I'm going to use here. T dot next. So it will point to the next address. The cursor. So if you can see the cursor is here. So it will point to this address. After this, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to move my head to the next part. So, okay, I think we don't need to do head display dot next. The reason is that we are iterating in our map. Okay, no need to put this. So this is what happened here. So only when your value is 1, in that case only you are going to add the data in your node. So after this, just like that, you can return the modified head. Okay, return head. Our head is what? H. So just you can put H. That's it. Okay, I think you guys can able to understand this. Okay, I'll remove this. Okay, let me minimize this one. Okay, so I think the problem is right. Okay, there is no error in our problem. Okay, let me compile and see. Okay, I got an error, a runtime error at line number 53. No, it's line number 88. What's that? Okay, see, I should not put head dot data. I need to put mp dot get key. So here the key is what? Here the key is 23. As I have told you before, 23 is the key and their count value is what? 1. So I need to put mp dot get key and same thing I need to put here. Mp dot get key. Okay. So let me submit. Okay, compiling. Thus we got 2335, 2335. Okay. So don't forget to put linked hash map. If you put hash map, then it will be arranged in an unordered way. So if you put linked hash map, then it will be in an ordered way. Okay. For that case, I put linked hash map. So let me submit and see now. So test case processing. Okay. Yes, we got our right output. Okay. So this is how we can able to remove all duplicates, occurrence of duplicates in your linked list. Okay. Let me see your next video. Bye.